Play with something safe, man. Don't play with me.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, your favorite villain. It's been a long time since I recorded. It's actually kind of weird recording right now because it's been so long, but yeah, I had medical issues. It was pretty rough for a time. Had to take a couple weeks off. I was in pretty bad condition. So I'm still going to be planning on obviously putting out content. I just got to slow down. I can't overexert myself. But anyways, in my absence, we hit 5K. So thank you to everybody that helped me get there. I also have a video with Chuck coming out soon. But anyways, check out the description if you want to help the channel at all. Of course, best way to help is to subscribe. But with that being said, today we're going to go over what Mr. Odin from Marvel Comics brings to the table at his strongest points, because soon he will be facing Darkseid. So, also this is basically going to be in two parts. I have to go over Odin, and then I have to go over some concepts that have to do with Odin. So, Odin's power in his heyday is described as literally being able to tear apart the fabric of eternity itself. Eternity's embody alone was beyond Dormammu's realm, which in strange tales was beyond any humanly comprehensible distance. This makes sense in terms of power because according to the early Marvel runs, godhood itself is only a tier for beings who can take domain over all aspects of existence itself. Not only is Odin this level, which is obviously outerversal, but he can bestow this tier of power upon others. Compared to the casual power of Odin, time and space are simply nothing in comparison to his power. Odin also one time pretty casually one-shot and killed Hela. Hela obviously capable of beating Thor for that scaling. What makes this feat even more insane though is that Thor implies Odin just pulled off killing death itself. Like he seemed kind of confused that Odin was able to kill her because he views her as death. So that was pretty interesting. We also learn in some of the older Odin runs, especially when it dealt with his death, that death can actually never fully claim domain over Odin. It can only hope to damage Odin. Half of Odin's power was used to forge infinity, which Odin later fights. The dimension of death in the endless sea, which can age even gods and did so to Balder, had absolutely zero effect on Odin once Odin popped out of his sleep and came out of it. It did nothing to him. So obviously, even compared to other gods, and it's been alluded to before in different runs, Odin and Thor are built different. They're just different. Like Thor, it was remarked, especially in the Gore the God Butcher run, that Thor is different from the other gods, especially in the classic runs and at his peak of power. I would definitely say the same thing applies to Odin. Odin not only fought Infinity, who should be above him, as it had half of Odin's power amping it, and Hela was amping it, yet Odin still found a way to win and absorb it. I'll also review more of the effects on this particular battle later in the video. Even when weakened, the concepts of time and space and laws that accompany them have no jurisdiction over Odin himself. Odin's battle with Infinity, which I just recently mentioned, raged across, quote, time, space, and even beyond the furthest reaches of human thought itself. So obviously, you can understand how crazy of a comprehensive distance that is. In a legendary feat, Odin took on Seth in a battle that tore at the fabric of the multiverse itself. What's even crazier is that Odin was nerfed in this battle because his mind had lost his godhood state, and he basically was reduced to the restrictions of thinking like a mortal. Odin also pretty casually extinguished the World Tree fire, The World Tree has previously been described before as transdimensional and being on every plane according to Loki. Now, that is a big part of the scaling, and what gives Odin hope against Darkseid is World Tree scaling, which I will be going over soon. While weakened in his astral form, Odin once pretty easily fought against Loki. Their fight was stated to be on every spiritual, astral, and metaphysical plane that is conceivable. To wrap things up, Surtur, who is capable of burning the World Tree, heard Odin yell and was instantly not about that life. He openly admits fearing the true raw power of Odin. So now we kind of have to go over concepts, the relevance of these concepts, and where exactly they scale and how that applies to Odin, because this is the big part of what helps with his power. Odin has bodied the Serpent, who Mephisto and Nightmare are scared to go against. Nightmare, for reference, was able to affect the Ideaverse/Fictoverse, which is where a multiverse of every literary character that inspired the character of Marvel exists. So this, conceptual Ideaverse, Nightmare is capable of consuming, yet he was scared of the Serpent, and Odin ran through the Serpent. During the battle with Seth, like mentioned earlier, it was stated that Seth was going to rip Yggdrasil out by its roots. Now, this is the World Tree scaling. It's varied throughout comics, but since we're doing strongest Darkseid, regular Darkseid versus strongest regular Odin, we're going to go over how strong you can get the World Tree. The World Tree is stated to have an infinite amount of universes and to have time and space laid out within it conceptually. It also, in previous runs, has spewed out the liquid light of space and time. Yggdrasil is also described as being beyond all measure, mortal or divine, and in some places it exists only as a concept. So it's far beyond the physical. A lot of people associate it with just physicality. Not necessarily true. The tree is also described as being everything and all that is. The World Tree spans time and space and is only scarcely conceived. Doctor Strange, after absorbing the World Tree, is stated to be the strongest he's ever been. And for reference of how strong Doctor Strange has been, go watch my classic Doctor Strange video, because that's insane. As mentioned earlier, when Odin negged the fire that was destroying the World Tree is stated to encompass the otherworld. This is big because eternity and infinity are viewed as chess pieces in the underworld, otherworld. That is how insignificant they are to a realm like that. The World Tree also encompasses embodies of living tribunal as well. So yeah, you can get wild with the World Tree scaling, and Odin at his peak powers directly scales to it. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're looking forward to the Odin Darkseid battle, make sure to comment down below. I'm excited to do it at well. I hope you were pleasantly surprised by some of the scaling if you didn't know it yet. Looking forward to doing that battle. I also have some other stuff coming up. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. I'm glad to be back. Thank you for helping me hit 5K. Anyways, it's been your favorite villain, and I will see y'all later. Peace.